Best of 5 time, alrighty. So, we go back to the other side of the lower bracket here. So again, an elimination match. We obviously saw ByuN start the day off 3-0 against Seoul. Again, unfortunately, with the way the schedule worked, we didn't get to watch Showtime and Zoun. Zoun was 2-0 ahead against Showtime. As ByuN, sorry, top right, of course. Zoun bottom left, Blue Protoss. He was 2-0 ahead against Showtime. Then it got to 2-2 and ended up going to all 5 maps, which was a little bit of a shame that we didn't get to see it, I suppose, more than anything else. So, yeah, just a little bit of a shame, kind of sad. But, you know, again, like I say, you just gotta kind of deal with it today and just kind of go along with what we can, basically. It's just the way that the day is gone again. There's not much else we can do about it, so just apologies for that, guys. But otherwise, yeah, we are readying up for this series now, so excited to see what these two will bring against each other. Should be kind of a should be kind of exciting, I think, because I kind of really think that these two are pretty well matched. In the last time we saw them, Zoun did beat ByuN in the group stages. Actually affected ByuN from being able to rank higher in this event in the group stages and get into the winner bracket and stuff. So Zoun won there, but also worth mentioning, of course, as I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the WardiTV Winter Championship, Zoun 3-0'd ByuN there, was it? And knocked ByuN out of the Winter Championship for his own progression into the Spring Championship. He qualified to this Spring Championship because of his performance in that Winter Championship. So that was very, very cool to see then. And kind of excited to see what he brings to the table now against ByuN. That was just such a sick run from Zoun. Took down Kua, took down some of the European players, ByuN, and then just and Zest as well. And then he just fell shy in the finals. It was 2-3 loss for him against Solar. Hey, what's up, Miss SC2? Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. As we get this underway. Also had Mr. Abraham on the 7-month resub on the Prime, and Botella555 on the 14-month resub. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you, as always, for supporting the stream. You guys know I appreciate it. I say it all the time. I really do. I'm not just saying it. Thanks so much for supporting the channel and helping us keep on streaming the Starcrafts, running the tournaments, and all of that good stuff. Adept here gets turned around by a few Marines. Stalker taking a bit of damage as well. Not much going on. ByuN's opening going to be this bio-heavy setup, so 3cc and a pure bio going to be a lot of focus on the ground. That means you're not going to be as strong in the not going to be as strong when it comes to in the kind of the tech. So defensively, that may be a bit of a problem further down the line or so, I guess. There's definitely a couple of possibilities there. You can see those few Marines moving around. These couple of gateways on the way up. The Stalker's just going to warp into the natural expansion as the War Prism starts to make its way out across to the right side. So, just going to make its way through with a few Stalkers inside. Zoun loves these aggressive blink openers, and that seems to be exactly what he wants to play for here once again. I've seen it be kind of a repetitive thing from Zoun in general, just these blink openings after blink openings after blink openings. Like, Zoun, switch it up a little bit, buddy. You know? That's been kind of fun to watch him go for it, as we do have attempt at the front, not going to do too much. Again, the thing about these blink openings is obviously there's no tanks here, but there is going to be, instead, stim very quickly. So you're going to have stim to kind of push these stalkers back a lot faster than usual. Obviously, does that make up for the fact that you don't have the buy? I actually kind of like this setup personally from ByuN. I think, yeah, the stalkers can be very annoying, but you have the tools to defend them anyway. Like, you might not have the usual tools you have to defend them, but you do have some tools to defend them, you know? So yeah, I kind of like it, honestly. I don't mind it. Stalkers to the front. I'm not going to do too much else. That bunker will hold for the moment. As 4 SCVs have gone down, but that will be about it. And this prism's going to be kept back as well, so again, for the moment at least, that will be that. Just kind of hold out and wait to see what is next, as we see a few of these SCVs going down again. Prism still being kept back. Zoun's follow-up is going to be that Robo Bay. Has finally got that third base finishing as well. As here comes ByuN, though, and this is going to be the real question of, do you have what you need to really kind of hold this back and to defend at the end of the day? Here comes our bio out through the center. Going to jump on this set of rocks, work his way through that. We're just going to be seeing the +1 attack upgrade about to finish up from ByuN, and instantly goes into the armor as the combat shields will finish too. In the end, ByuN not too aggressive, and I really feel like you're missing the opportunity, right? I know these stalkers are still out here, but there's really not that many of them, and I feel like these units at the very least could have maybe done something down towards the third base or so. Yeah, unfortunately, that just doesn't happen. As now our Bioforces coming around this right-hand side, we will see Robo Facility still coming through. That Colossus is about to pop. Next turn, Thermal Lands is still on the way as well as we move on in. And there's just going to be a Zealot on this Watchtower, and that gets pushed back pretty much instantly as well. Now he's stimming from the left side, and snipe. There goes a couple Stalkers. Into the natural we go running as ByuN comes on through, and is actually just going to look to trade out pretty decently here. 6 workers already down. That number's rising. On the right-hand side, pushing as well. A few of the Zealots coming out here initially, just trying to keep this back, trying to keep this pushed away. We are going to be seeing the forces back up, but 17 workers going down. I mean, obviously, I think one thing you've got to look at in this scenario, though, is do you end up in this kind of position where, well, basically, do you end up in this sort of position where you are potentially going to be without enough army, because you just traded a fair amount of army to do this damage, right? You know, this did not come for free. Useless loss kind of even. Yeah, I mean, the probe damage is fantastic, so looks like, honestly, kind of looks as though ByuN is going to be just about fine in this as we do move in, looking for a bit of damage here. He's going to make a kill on a Colossus. Stalkers and a Sentry going to get chased away as well. You do manage to chase those back. That's now the ByuN. He wants to come back in again. Try and jump in on this as well. Colossus taking a few more shots of damage, lifting up, dropping down. Bit of fun with that, as we do see our Zealots making their way up to the top side. So Zealot's going to come on through now. There's a couple of Widow Mines here to try and slow that down initially. ByuN is so late on the armor. His 2-2 is going to be very late here as he goes up to the Ghost Academy as well. He kills both those Zealots separately, has to cancel the depot, will lose the first mine, and the second mine goes running, gets killed off too. He is about to catch the Prism though, and that's obviously a nice catch as he gets rid of the Disruptor inside it as well. So good catch from ByuN, really good catch from ByuN. As we continue on through this, just going to look to try and get on top of these Colossi. Cannon and the Stalker is going to push ByuN's army back once again. Gonna push on over to the right, going to retake that Watchtower. I'm just going to be seeing the armory going to be finishing in the back of that main base also, with a few Stalkers trying to put some damage out onto the medevac. Disruptor's going to rally out. Just going to see this Bio Army going to turn back around. Vikings kind of wanting to jump in on that there, and looked as though they wanted to try and, you know, be a part of it. ByuN still going to hold out in the center, just going to lift up a medevac of them, take them out down to that bottom right-hand side. It's just going to go running those away as this other Nexus sets up, so getting that ready. Still ByuN sitting in the center, holding this watchtower. Stalkers are going to come through, and they're going to get jumped on right away by these Marauders and Marines as well. A little bit of a drop on the bottom side. There goes a Disruptor shot, hits a couple Marauders. The Stalkers don't quite get this medevac. It will somehow find a chance to unload one more time over in this third base. Now it gets shot down. It looks as though that will be the end of this, but well, that kind of lasted longer than expected, to be honest. The Stalkers do dish out a little bit more damage here. And we go pushing forward. Not really enough to fight against those Colossi, I gotta say. It definitely feels like a bit of a problem right now. Another Disruptor shot goes through, does land. Another Disruptor shot landing as well. So let's see the Bio Army escaping out of there. Gain 2-2 upgrades, well on the way at the moment. With the Viking Marine Marauder force also coming by. Now, Planetary Fortress is also going to build on the 3 o'clock, so getting that up and running. Got a little bit of this bio coming through. Going to knock down these rocks over here. Opening that area up as Stalkers. Also trying to fight back into this. Shot flies, doesn't quite connect. Well, on the planetary forwards, we're not really able to get much done. We are going to see ByuN going to go for a run through here, and is going to get on top of the robo facility, building the disruptor up, so it's going to deny that pretty much immediately. As our 4 bases now go into 5 bases across the bottom, ByuN looks as though, well, with good EMPs, gets rid of that Archon little reinforcement squad instantly. Don't let that Nexus live. ByuN, hello? I obviously wants to prioritize the main, but this is like 2 shots from dying. I mean, why the hell would you not just get rid of it? Deny some gas income, I mean, honestly, still mineral income as well. Oh, the move command from ByuN, what is that? No, 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 absolute disaster. He's focusing on the other side while he's jumping on the disruptors, but with not enough units to make a difference. Oh, and ByuN just lost everything in traumatic fashion. What was that? That was not the play, guys. I will tell you right now, that was not the play from ByuN. That was not how that was meant to look. I was going to see our medevacs coming around the bio army as well. Just going to see the rest of this out down the south is trying to set up those disruptors coming through, joining together, and everything going to come pushing along right now. We blink forward, we pick off a sensor tower to begin with at least. Continue on in here, this orbital already in some trouble. It's going to have to lift up. Bottom side, bio units coming through as well, gets rid of 1 gate. I mean, yeah, just going to fight those Zealots. We're going to see a recall as Zoun is content with what he's achieved across the map, and these disruptors are going to force the lift. Stalker's Blink, I believe, got one of the full medevacs there towards the tail end of the escape. Now he blinks in for another one. Marauder's unloading and just going to have to go running. Not really much of an option as they get stuck in here with those Stalkers. The Stalkers keep on blinking, and they're going to keep on chasing down those Marauders right now. Rest of these Zealots wanting to come through. ByuN's going to have to back it up. Another little blink in. The army of ByuN does just about escape back around to the right-hand side. Huge amount of disruptors coming through at the moment. Big connections to start us off. Oh my god, massive connections across the board. The disruptors do a fantastic job, and Zoun going to continue to hound down this army of ByuN. Wants to keep on hunting it, wants to chase it. Gets a Viking kill there. Continue to chase in. We are going to see the ByuN still coming through, chasing those Colossi down. A couple disruptors in a bit of trouble, trying to dodge away with the bio units. Another disruptor shot is denied. Still Stalkers blinking in, and those bio units and the Marauders, the Ghosts, still just being hunted. 19, 20 workers killed. Gonna turn this around again as Stalkers are in some trouble. That Colossus has to keep on running. Zealots are being picked off now as well. I mean, the lack of a +2 armor upgrade for the pros is very visible. Those Zealots are just dying way quicker than they ever really should. Does it make enough of a difference at the end of the day, though? And I think the answer to that may very well just be no. It doesn't. The right-hand side we go, blinking in. Zell's going to charge on this, and we are going to see Planetary Fortress denied. That turret is going to fall. 11 SCVs have been killed. And Zoun just striking down another point of ByuN's economy. And ByuN has just not slowed down Zoun's economy in a long time here, so Zoun is fairly comfortable in continuing to build at the moment. That's going to be a big difference between the two of them. As well, you can just see Zoun continues to jump on units. He's just going to take down another medevac, another chunk of bio. And Zoun just got the better end of the trades here in game number 1 of this best of 5 series. Supposed to become an issue. Let's dive on into game number 2, guys. Let's see if ByuN can put that one behind him as he's down a map. It's a best of 5. It's a long way to go. It's not done yet. In the bottom left corner, a red Terran from the Shop of Fire Rebellion. This is ByuN. Taking on the blue Protoss in the top right corner of the map. This is going to be Zoun. I really liked how this game set up for ByuN. But it really found a way to, he really found a way to make sure it didn't look so good for him at the end of it all, didn't he? It was really, not very pretty, to say the least. It was not very pretty. Alright, so game number 2, and let's see what the two of them are going to bring to the table today. For our second round of action, see if ByuN wants to stick around with these heavy bio-focused openings, or maybe he'll have something slightly different planned. Tech Lab on the barracks straight after the Reapers, so maybe Reaper into... I mean, Marauders don't make sense if you go Reaper first, right? Oh wow, I actually don't really know what the hell's going on. It does run up towards the upper side. Burn Cluster of Shells and Marauder. Continues through. Stalker Chrono boosting out, Warp Gate coming in, and Nexus is going to be done on our natural expansion, and it is Marauder's post Reaper. Okay. It's a little bit of a different way of doing things, right? Typically, Marauder openings are Marine into Marauder. A little bit different. We'll see if ByuN can maybe catch Zoun off guard a little bit, as Zoun does drop down a proxied gateway on the map, so Zoun was upon quite a bit of pressure with Marauders in play. Gonna see those couple stalkers continue through. A couple Marauders do come out. Gonna go grab that first stalker. As those Marauders just moving up to the top side. Warp Gate is about to be finishing up right here, as we see a couple of these gates going to be coming through. Yeah, these couple of Marauders just going to press the front, but I tell you what, there's no batteries ready just yet, so Marauders will pressure. They're going to get some good damage done on the initial Stalker. And as it was warping in, couldn't kite back right away. But he's not going to... Oh, wow, it wasn't high ground yet. But 2 Marauders for the Stalker. And now you've got 3 gates of units to warp in across the map. And ByuN is going to have basically nothing for a little while. Not sure how big a fan I am of this for ByuN. As now Zoun can really ramp up the pressure. And really maybe break this bunker. The units are making their way across here. Those Stalkers continuing down. A bit of marine damage coming out. Stalkers being pushed around a little bit. SCVs are going to pull in and be repairing that bunker up. So that gets repaired. Twilight Council going to be finishing. Forge and the Robo facility still coming through too. There's a couple of Widow Mines just going to continue to build up here. Stalker's still out the front. It's going to hang around for the moment. Damage in. Now these Widow Mines going to load up as well, and they're going to move up the left-hand side. The Blink coming through. Next is going to be finishing. Robotics facility is about to complete. Again, the rest of our Stalkers is going to make their way out through the top side here. Our combat shields is going to start up from ByuN as well. In the end, really not as much pressure as I thought, but I guess you got to remember that these Stalkers and stuff don't have blink or anything, right? So initially when they push there, they can also be a little afraid. They don't have the power to really break on through. Well, here comes ByuN. He's going to be kicking in with Stim already done. He's got Combat Shield on the way, so now it's ByuN's turn to turn this around. And because Zoun not only... Well, because Zoun went into those gates early, he didn't have his tech right away, so this is where ByuN can take advantage of that tech being missing for a while. There's a few probes off the Widow Mine drops. And now you can say, you just don't have the tech here necessarily to defend his Zoun. Beautiful battery, though. Just at the right moment. And great force fields, too, to cut this army in half. ByuN finds 6 workers, but how many units is it going to cost him? It's already cost him a Widow Mine. He's actually got this Widow Mine still available over here. That's actually going to get all these probes. Okay, Zoun realized it, though. There's 1 Widow Mine still available in the medevac. Actually, to be fair, a lot of this Bio army gets away. Blink, again, just not able there to come through for the Protoss plan to allow Zoun to go chasing down. There's a little group of Bio units. Seven probes killed then. Not bad. I was worried for ByuN simply because I really thought there was going to be maybe some punishment for having those units on the map and maybe seeing all of that going down. I was just going to be seeing our Bio units moving up. Stalker's going to blink a little bit. Three probes more went down to the Widow Mines to drop back in the main. ByuN's going to give it the pressure at the front. Super Battery's ready again, so he'll activate and keep stuff busy for a moment or two longer. As now we got a Zealot that's harassing this third base. Zealot does get blown up as a Marauder goes down. This Widow Mine goes in for the Stalkers. They blink back. Now the rest of this Bioforce is going to come on through, chasing some Stalkers down as well. So the Stalkers getting pushed away all the way up to the top. Zealots will continue through, just going after these SCVs, so again, chunking away at those. Oh no, the Widow Mine for 7 probes. Just as these Zealots did really good damage, ByuN is back in there and doing even further damage himself. It's just continuing to improve on this situation. That's brutal. 12 SCVs lost in the end. But again, if Zoun just not lost 7 probes there, imagine the position he's in. Instead, he's still only 5 workers ahead. It's still kind of so-so for him. Not brilliant, not the worst. Yeah. Nothing crazy, yeah. ByuN's army will start to move to the upper right-hand side. Stimming, a couple of forces coming down. Marines and Marauders being picked away at. Zarkons in a little bit of trouble. Zealot at the frontier in some trouble too. First Zealot goes down. Second Zealot gets picked off. SCV's going down back across the map. So battery fades away. ByuN still actually has a lot of Widow Mine fire available to him here, so if he can get these units to run over the Widow Mines and get those shots off, he has a lot of value still to be added to this army, essentially. Right now, it's just the Marauders that are kiting for days. Now we're going to see a couple shots and a couple Zards are cleaned out. There's still one Widow Mine left, and Zoun is going to play around that, isn't going to go running over it or anything stupid. Storm building. So Storm now on the way in. +1 armor coming through on the Forge. Now ByuN's just sat here as the Observer flies overhead. You're going to see those couple High Templar coming back through as well. It's just getting that ready and getting this all brought back. We are going to be seeing our little army of ByuN is back to the middle of the map right now. It's coming on through. A little scan comes in, picking off the Observer. Go pushing forwards once again. ByuN goes on the way up, so you will have an answer to Storm at some point. Not just yet, though. That first Archon out of range of the Super Battery, and so it was not savable. This Storm is going to come through, and that's going to save ByuN a little, saves down a little bit there as he falls back. One of the mines at least do get to go off, and it's a bit of a massacre at the tail end. That minefield coming into effect. Here comes the army around into the center of the map, going to come chasing. The medevacs are going to boost away. The ByuNs are going to back it up. Turns around, chases down these Archons. Feel these Stalkers being chased. The High Templar is going to lift on up here. And we are going to push on through. Big EMP on the Immortals. Another Storm completely misses. And this army of ByuN will continue to the top side. Another Immortal picked off. And now these High Templar, they actually dodged the EMP there, but they don't have the energy to cast anything else anyway. In the end, ByuN just really kind of reinforces, and eventually he breaks his way through that. Wow. Alright, well, ByuN is just going to brute force his way into victory in game number 2. Game is we're going to start off in the bottom left-hand side of the map with the Red Terran player. This is ByuN from the Shopify Rebellion. Taking on Zoun from Alpha X in the upper right-hand side. As, yeah, kind of hoping that this turns into a nice series because, I mean, it's been a nice series already, but kind of hoping that trend continues because I do think that these two have the potential to play some fun matches if we've seen it in the past. I also like the idea of the revenge story, you know, ByuN trying to get his own, you know, get his way or get revenge for losing to Zoun in that Winter Championship, missing out on the finals. It's just going to be setting ourselves up. That probe going to come down here from Zoun to see what's going on. You're going to see a set cool place down in the main base. This probe's going to transfer down to the Natural, and obviously everything looking pretty regular in that regard just yet. ByuN's a man of the people. He just wanted to show everyone he's like you and me. That's why he moved commander to his army in that first game. I'm sure that's exactly what it was, guys. I'm sure that is exactly it. I'm glad we figured it out. Good job, team. Good job. Gonna drop down a Twilight Council. As we get this set up, we're actually going to be finishing up on the barracks. A couple Marines on the way out, a Widow Mine coming through. And starport going to be finishing up in a few moments as well. Twilight Council in the main. Gonna be done in just a few moments. Just gonna be having that starport again. Gonna be finishing shortly. Widowmine pops up. A few Marines coming out. We got Dark Shrine building up here from Zoun's. Getting that ready to go. Our Robo facility is about halfway done here as well from Zoun's. Just getting that set up as well. These couple of gates continue through. Marines coming in. Medevac is going to be finishing shortly. I'll just set up right now as we wait for this first drop basically to come across the map. It's going to be an action for the early game. Haven't even had a Reaper to watch this far, right? We haven't even gotten to see a Reaper yet, so it really is first time we're getting to go across the map here. As ByuN has not seen anything across the map, has no idea what his opponent's up to. Zoun had an early scout, and that's about it. He will have known this was no Reaper, but yeah, that's about all he knows, so away we run, off to the top. 3 Widowmine drop, a Raven behind this, so it's going to be a good news for the Dark Shrine. I'm dealing with that. So there we go. Just going to put these Widow Mines into the mineral line. This one dropped. Just going to get a probe, and now a couple others going to go into the main base. But he's actually just going to lift that back up and wait for a little bit later where he feels like maybe there's a better chance. Or right now, go back to the natural. Again, just trying to keep pulling probes away, forcing those to back off. Decent splits. So that Widow Mine is actually going to unburrow. Zoun hits his own Nexus. And a flurry of rage. Ah, I didn't get the Widow Mine. I gotta attack something. FSDT in the natural now. Raven did just pop. SCV pull initially. Again, you obviously want to try and deny the Prism coming in. So you don't want to just necessarily go and send everything to the low ground, because that's when the Prism comes into the main. And that's when you start running around in circles against those DTs. And obviously that is not what you want to have happen. You want to actually have a pretty reasonable way to cope with those. So gotta kind of work around it as another siege tank. Gonna get set up there. And on we go. Just gonna be seeing a couple Archons in the middle of the map looking like they want to go jump into this prism. And that prism makes its way towards the main base where Viking and a few Marines are able to turn it away. So prism not allowed into the bottom left. Widowmines here gonna burrow, and it's a big connection for 11 probes, and the mines are gonna survive. And Zoun is finally going to slip up against those Widow Mines. That's the power of keeping these mines alive so long. You wait for Zoun when he's maybe not paying attention. You got to pay so much. You got to basically constantly watch your minimap in your main base, because the moment those Widow Mines come in, you got to be responding to them. And this obviously was not a response to the mines at all. It was just a bit too late. It was happening as the damage was done. These Widow Mines are going to come off cooldown, and that's going to be 2 Adept kills. I think you're pretty okay with that, because you're also just going to lift them back into the medevac again, and it's still free damage, right? These Widow Mines have still not gone down. These mines have done so much at this point. As ByuN needs to not hold his position as medevac there. He needs to do it a little bit further along. That is it. Alright, so you hold position your medevac up on that top side as this prism comes through with a couple of Archons. Make their way around to see what can be done. Charge is going to complete here from Zoun in a moment or so. That +1 attack still coming through, the few additional probes on the way in. We're just going to be seeing this cannon building on the front of the third base. Army from ByuN is going to go pressing forward. Marine tank, Viking Raven, all coming across the map. This is the sort of push which just should do a lot. I mean, in fairness, the super battery is going to put in work, and that's going to allow you to come forward here and actually fight these tanks. And maybe you could, I guess you could argue the tanks were too far forward. You were able to push forward from the battery straight into the tanks, which means that you get on top of the tanks with full HP. Obviously, if you could have stopped that from happening, that would have been a bit nicer as a force field comes in. Okay, honestly, still not bad though from ByuN. I think when you look at everything that's happened here, he's still pretty happy. This fight maybe wasn't the best for him, but he slowed down the economy of Zoun enough so that he was at least free to make a mistake like that attack, not going quite his way. And kind of get away with it and maybe scramble something out of this still. Got the medevacs out to this far right-hand side. Gonna go drop up in toward the main base. come recalling in here as Stalker Immortal Archon recalls. I mean, if few probes go down, we're just going to lift to the corner and, well, nothing should be able to kill these. Blink ain't done, of course, with the way this game opened. We delayed Blink a lot. He actually prioritized charge, which means these Stalkers are still stuck on the high ground as we drop into the natural, and this is why you pretty much always want to go Blink first unless you've got a... I mean, in this case, charge maybe helps you survive, but... You know, typically Blink is, you know, this is why you need Blink first a lot of the time. If you don't have Blink, people are generally going for the Phoenix. This is just getting out of hand, of course, as ByuN is now really going to just have Zoun pulled in so many different directions. As Zoun is on the brink of tearing apart. And that would give ByuN the lead in this series, of course, as all medevacs still just hide away to that top corner. ByuN is going to get out of here through the top side. He's going to be able to unload in the upper left. 13 workers killed as Zealot centering Immortal Archon. Move back to the left. Just gonna grab that Observer. Just gonna see the rest of this in the center of the map. Still got the 2 medevacs in the upper right as well. Fire comes in, a couple of these stalks continue to be picked away at. Just going to be coming on through here, and just going to be seeing the cancel on that low ground. Just going to go back over through the top. Just going to unload in that top left-hand side. Here comes the rest of this army from ByuN, so making his way through the left. Up to the top. There we go. Pylon, Nexus, lots of stuff that can be damaged here. Is going to see EMPs come down on the ramp. A lot of EMPs going to strike these Archons, etc. We're going to push through this. I mean, all the advantage from ByuN earlier in the game comes through to this moment right now. As you can see, everything just dies. And that's going to be GG. ByuN is going to take the lead in the series. He really played that well. I mean, he got so much damage off of as we dive on into match point advantage with the red Terran player on the top left-hand side of the map. It is ByuN here on Lightshade. Winner of this will play Hero Marine in the next round of the lower bracket. As at the bottom right, our Blue Protoss player from Alpha X is Zoun. Excuse me, having a drink to refresh the voice, ready for game 4. Let's see the Savicore coming up to the corner of this main base. Just getting that ready. We do have the Nexus building up on the natural expansion. There's one probe of Zoun is going to move out into the center of the map. It's going to come through this bottom side and have a look to see what can be done. Drops a pylon down over there. The factory is coming up from ByuN as well. The command center coming in too. Stargate opening from Zoun. So yeah, he's gonna change it up. I kind of like the Stargate being on the map. Like, you know, somewhere a little bit different. It's just out the base. It's not super out there, but maybe fools ByuN if he gets a scout off or so. Maybe keeps it hidden a while longer. And maybe that's a big part of the plan here from Zoun in terms of getting something done, having that Stargate somewhere unexpected. Maybe that helps him to pull this off if this is meant to be more of a surprise kind of Stargate than anything else. Pro pulls it back down through the middle of the map, so heading through the center and along back home to the far right hand side here. Oracle's already building up from Zoun. Obviously not surprised. I think if this was going to be Phoenix, there'd be no reason not to just build it in the main. Of course you can go Oracle into Phoenix, but some people do like to open just blind straight Phoenix. It is going to be the Oracle first this time around, which makes a lot of sense. Hellion runs all the way around here. There's the Oracle of Zoun, just goes to the far left-hand side, gets set up. Just gonna see those few Adepts coming through as well, so away they go. Gonna go diving this Oracle into the back of the natural. Marines come in, put a bit of damage out on that Oracle. Viking's about halfway done. It's gonna rally out towards these couple of Marines. Whoa. This ain't so good. These Adepts getting on top of a chunk of Marines down here. If this Oracle was here a bit sooner, they would have done a little bit better. The Viking shows up, though, and this is actually going to be a pretty decent cleanup in the end for ByuN. If that Oracle was there right from the start, the extra damage you get done, the Marines you get rid of that much faster, makes a pretty big difference. So it's a little bit of a shame for Zoun, because it felt like otherwise that was actually a pretty good commitment. There's a second Oracle seen by this Hellion as well, confirmed as well with the pulsar beam, so... Uh-oh. Now we've got a second Oracle on the map. And it's known about, so maybe ByuN can deal with that. And if he deals with that well, then Zoun really does continue to fall into a little bit of trouble here, I'd imagine. I see a pylon. Out to the corner there, this Oracle moves all the way up to the top side. So it's just going to hang around for a few moments as the Italian wants to get into the front. Stalkers say, nah, not over here, not allowed. Game +1, stim, combat shields, all of this continues up at the moment as you see our Oracle continues to make its way over to the far left. Now it's going to drop a Revelation down. Seeing this gateway set up in the center. Still a Viking just poised on the bottom side. Again, Blink +1, gate, robo facility, all these little things coming up too. Zoun in a position at the moment where get this army moving around. Just gonna have this army of Zoun pushing forward, so a good chunk of Stalkers through the middle of the map here to begin with, at least. Couple Marines coming through. Oracle taking a bit of damage. Just gonna see this Bioforce still moving down. Stim pack and combat shields will be completing. A couple of Stalkers gonna finish up in the center and just gonna have this Stalker army still coming in. Marine's gonna load up to try and avoid some shots. I'm not sure if that was intentional at first. I mean, at the end it seems intentional, but initially I wasn't so sure about it. A lot of Marines go down, but what about these Marauders? Stalkers are just sat there fighting them. Obviously, Marauders do well against Stalkers. Continue to chase them down. There's the Blink finally coming through. Can he catch one more? He does. That's a lot of Stalkers lost from Zoun. Look at the army supplies. 53 to 16 army. There's a couple of medevacs for whatever reason in the middle of nowhere, so that's at least a win for Zoun. That was a little bit of a mistake. Unnecessary there from ByuN. Settling down in the center. Just going to see this pylon taking some hits. And the other side of the map, Widowmine drops are coming in for damage as well. Obviously was kind of the bane of Zoun in that last game. And ByuN's going to keep him up in this one too, although pretty well defended this time. There's still one more to deal with. I mean, just so annoying having to relocate your mineral line for so long. Having to deal with the unburrow, reburrow action. This one probe in the end as we gather back up to the top. This little Oracle is just going to get away. Drop the Revelation, gets out of there. Army supply is still a massive issue. Zoun just does not have any sort of numbers on the run. He is down like 50 army supplies. So, okay, that's now 30. Well, Warping will help, but he also doesn't have charge, so this is basically Stalkers against Bio. Doesn't usually go well for you. Pushing, Zealot's taking a bit of damage. Widowmine's all burrowed up. Gonna start pushing in towards the natural as well. Oracle goes down. Widowmine's gonna blow up a chunk of Zealots. More Widowmine shots continue to come through. That Immortal gets picked up. We are just gonna push on in here. ByuN gonna chase the rest of this away. GG. Zoun just had nothing in this game. He just died. Like, he really just died. Like, nothing else happened apart from death and destruction. That was a little bit brutal, to be honest. That was a little bit brutal. GG's. ByuN is going to advance on through to the next round of the lower bracket.